Hi everybody, I'm Kushan. Today I'm going to be looking at Sovereignty Crown of Kings, a new fantasy empire building game being developed by the Lord's Game Studio and Gothic Labs, and published by Matrix and Slytherin. For those that don't know, Sovereignty, the original early access for Sovereignty was released earlier middle of last year. I can't quite remember, but then it kind of didn't really disappear. They just kind of slowed down the patching. And then I happened to notice the other day that it was in early access too, and I really wanted to kind of take a look at it here. So I'm going to be starting a new game. This isn't going to be a full Let's Play, but I'm going to probably do a couple of episodes here. So select a new realm. So something that really sets Sovereignty apart from pretty much every other fantasy 4X on the market, and this is something I really like, is that in every other fantasy 4X that I've ever seen, is that you pretty much always start off with the typical civilization, one city, and you basically expand out from there. And in a lot of these games, you have like a whole bunch of lore and background that's written about these empires, about rivalries, about, this and that, and their history. And you don't really get that experience. Well, in Sovereignty, as you can see here, all of these factions already exist. They already have pre-existing borders, they have existing rivalries, and all that already exists here. And it's something I really like. So who do we want? And each of these factions are different. These aren't just, the Iron Barony over here I think is the Orcs. The Baruvian Empire over here is kind of, I'm going to compare them to the Romans, but they're not really. They're kind of like an empire that's in decline. They've had like the Galeni and the Barani like break off, but they're still a powerful force. I'm not quite sure. I haven't played enough to really know the history of the rest of these factions yet. As you can see, I still have tutorials kind of turned on here. So there are, when you select them, you can choose the different campaign that you want to play, and each of these factions should be noted. Each has their own, victory condition, and I think that may change depending on what sort of campaign you play. So the Aracel, the time has come for us to secure the realm. Continental naval powers outside our influence pose a direct threat to our fair island. We must work with our allies and slowly strangle our rival striking power by depriving them of their harbors. The Admiralty looks to your able leadership to see us through. So this is the naval supremacy campaign. Mission objectives: all harbor provinces must be owned by Aracel or its allies. Aracel must be the most powerful naval realm. Let's see, we can choose like last man standing. When the dust settles, be the last realm was still standing. Conquest of these, in some ways this actually kind of, reminds me of like a fantasy version of medieval Total War, the first one. As far as kind of the look, but I think that's being a little unfair in some respects. Rivalry: defeat your biggest rival. Palomar must be defeated. World rivalry. Power games: you're the greatest in the world, and you want to make sure everyone else knows it. Rise to the top of the rankings table for each category, and prove yourself to be better than all of the other realms. I'm not sure that's what I want to play. Hadrigel, what's their kind of history? You can play Iron Man. A new power. New power is rising. A hero's come, riding at the head of our armies. Our troops flock to his banner. They sing of a legendary past and a glorious tomorrow, and as always, their heads hold high and clapping march. It is our destiny to become the new center of power on the land. Aracel must be a great power. Aracel must be the first naval power. Ally with Aracel. Become the first geographic power. Aracel must survive. Alignment is good. Heroes, agents. So, I think we're going to play the Hadrigel here. A young and virile realm, Hadrigel exudes military confidence and precision. Its troops are widely regarded as the finest in the lands, disciplined, expertly trained, elite. Monuments of heroes and kings dot the provinces, and there is pride here in king, country, and honor. And there is pride here in, I already read that. The roads are clean, watchmen and officers are respected, crime is low, but for all this outward confidence and power, Hadrigel also harbors deep resentment and fear. It is beset on all sides by troubles, it is encircled by foes, and those who resent Hadrigel's growing power. Its glorious army is divided on many potential fronts. So essentially we're playing the fantasy Prussians. So I'm going to keep tips on. So this is our realm here, and let's look at our army. So we have some pikemen, we have some, I'm not even trying to pronounce that, we have some Jaegers, not quite sure what those are, we've got some old guard, cavalry, ritters, some archers, and a siege tower. At least one of your units is unable to move to an adjoining province. Note the no move icon appearing on any. Okay, so basically what happens if I didn't want to move a unit, you basically click on it and it will stay in the existing province. So mission objectives, we need to. So what's our status with as far as diplomacy goes? So obviously we need to ally with the Aracel over here. So they don't really like us. They have suspicious feelings towards us, but we're going to send one of our agents to go and improve their opinion of us. Kind of some weird issues kind of with the interface that are kind of confusing. For instance, when you go into this menu, you know, it doesn't really, as far as I can tell, haven't really found a way to like switch back to your country. So it's really kind of hard, you know, to until you switch back to kind of this pop-out panel. This shows what everybody's opinion of you. So the Baruvian Empire likes us. So we're going to offer them. They accept an alliance. They will probably accept this offer, so we're going to send them an alliance. Should be noted that you can't declare war until after turn 3. A lot of countries don't like us very much. We'll ally with Barony. My only thing with Barony is if they get into war with the Peruvian Empire, then I may be forced to just choose. But maybe we can. Where's the Velagorn Palantot? Not quite sure where they're located at. Barony. Oh, they are right in here. It's kind of hard to tell where they're at. They're right in here. So they have neutral feelings toward us, so we'll send one of our agents to prove their relations with me. And then agents do have travel times. They don't just instantly travel to and from. The farther away you send them, the longer it takes for them to get both directions. How's our income look? I've been playing the Baruvians the last in my kind of offline campaign, and I'm actually used to having quite a bit more gold in this. There we go, treasury. So we are going to gain 3,248 basically our next turn. What sort of units can we recruit? Some of these units may be elite units, in which Guard, Brave. Okay, so these guys are auxiliaries. Allies may purchase this unit while the alliance is in effect. If you go to war with that realm, those auxiliaries will disband. Takes double damage from illusion-based damage and realm spells. So there is magic. I haven't really had a chance to mess with that too much, but it's kind of like a research tree over here, and you invest gold into going up the various paths. And I think each of these are different per the faction you're playing. So our first level spell is Force March, resets all movement points in an army. Wow, that's pretty nice. And I don't know. Like I said, I haven't messed really with this, so I don't know if these are these are only strategic level spells or if they also apply to the tactical battles as well. If you have an open hero slot, immediately summon a new hero. This hero is hired for 0 gold. That's pretty nice. This basically means that whatever army we can afford, if we don't have a hero, we can basically just turn basically a minor army into a full army. The big difference is that you can only control armies in battle that you have a hero in. If you don't have a hero, then you have to do kind of like their auto resolve battle. Destiny's Reign, immediately annex all enemy provinces that you currently occupy. That's nice. But anyways, let's go and take a look at units. So I don't think these are... Let's add some units to our training queue. These units do require resources to both basically train and maintain. So we need 2 beer and iron to raise our Landsknechts. I know I butchered that pronunciation, I'm sorry. So our old guard. Discipline. Costs more to recruit. I think that's the maintenance. No, that's our maintenance. They're more expensive to recruit, but they are better to maintain. But they don't have the attack, although they do have better defense. So let's just recruit 2 of our Landsknechts here. These guys will... what's our health? 1 more health point on the old guard. Or no, that's... heal 10 life for every heal point if it spends 1 turn out of battle. Oh, that's what that... Okay. I'll just recruit these guys. Militia, obviously, are kind of pretty useless, I found. Oh, I didn't even notice this over here. You can actually switch to... So that's our infantry. We've got irregular units, which are the Jaegers. We have archers, cavalry, naval units, frigates, man-of-war, and sloops, and then siege units, catapults. Catapults I found and trebuchets I found are really kind of actually handy, even in the tactical battles where you're not actually sieging, in that they can actually, when units end a turn next to each other, they basically form a shield wall, and catapults and trebuchets over here will shatter that. Any attack by a siege unit will shatter an enemy unit. Shatter negates shield wall, counter fire, and support fire. It also imposes the cumulative -1 defense on that enemy for the remainder of the battle. So they're actually really useful to have. So we'll recruit, and you don't actually recruit units in a specific province. You basically drop them into a training queue, and when their training time is up, you can basically, plop them down on the map wherever you want them, but then they're actually frozen in that province for 1 turn. Alright, so agents are out. Let's put a little bit of our budget into spell research. We'll just say 5% of our budget. Do you sort of wish this tooltip, as far as our treasury, was a little bit more responsive? There we go. So we'll get 2,800, almost 2,900 gold the next turn. That's not too bad. Auxiliary units gained. As part of our alliance with the Baruvian Empire, you may now raise the Beauregard Trebuchet units. If the alliance ends, you will lose this ability, and if you go to war with the Baruvian Empire, any remaining units of this type in your army will disband. Trade routes. Your offer to trade to Baruvian Empire has been accepted. You can review details of ongoing trade and the foreign relations. New event. So spring bloom, new life spurts or bursts forth from with the coming of spring. Recharge time of nature spells is -1 and war is +1. So there are seasons that will basically change the power of your different spells. Units are waiting to be deployed. We'll just kind of keep them in the queue for the time being. Also, units in your capital actually, I don't believe, cost maintenance to maintain. So let's go to the Baruvian Empire. Trade offers. We don't have any trade, so wine. Oh, we must not have any to actually trade. Iron. We don't have an available agent, so maybe that's why it's not. But the Peruvians do like us. And we're improving our relations with Aracel over here. Now, something to go over is that these numbers here in these provinces, this represents the economy of that province. You know, the higher it is, obviously, the better. But something to keep in mind is that when you go to war, when you defeat the you know, if there is a defending army and you defeat it, you then begin sieging it. And every turn, this economic value basically drops. When this reaches 0, then you annex the province. So essentially, when you go to war and you're conquering for territory, you're going to have to spend the gold basically once the war ends or once you take it to basically build that province back up. So, well, say for instance the Laganwari over here. If I were to go to war with the Mirmont over here and take that, I would then have to basically spend 4 turns sieging it down before I took it, and then I would then have to basically use the gold to basically build it back up to what its current status is. So you're not going to get a province for nothing, or just defeating its defenders, which I think actually makes sense. You know, obviously if you're sieging the province, it's going to have an effect on the economy of that province. And let's recruit. I lack the resources. I am missing timber or lumber. I'm sorry. So if I go here, this is the marketplace. You can buy and sell resources on this screen. Market prices will fluctuate over time through supply and demand. I'm not going to do that at the moment. Where is timber? These little icons here actually represent forts. I haven't quite figured out what this province has 4 forts. I haven't quite figured out what the forts do. I don't know if they provide like a defensive bonus when you're fighting in the province or not. So there's iron there. There's gems. There's lumber all the way over here. We have a closer source. Is Great Island, is that a... Okay, no, that's part of Aracel. So maybe we can trade them something for some lumber. So if we offer them beer, will they give us lumber? They really don't have any spare. Yeah. Still early. Let's just clear the offer and proceed to the next turn. A hero wishes to join us for 0 gold, a warlord. All standard units you control may reset their attacks. We will hire him. We'll place him in our main army, well, I guess our only army at this time. Heroes are not units themselves, but are attached to existing armies. In battles, heroes are represented as cards that you may play at a key moment to turn the tide. So Broken Her, their offers a lump sum of 200 for a non-aggression pact. I'm going to accept that. And then we have a trade offer from Kragenwaste, another lump sum of 200 gold for a non-aggression pact. I'll accept that. That favors me. So Kragenwaste is up here. They're a little far away. I'm not sure where the other faction is at. I'm actually thinking maybe Barani over here may be a good place to start kind of some conquest. What do we need to become the first geographic power? So world powers, the Peruvian Empire, even in its decline, they still are rated number 1. The Iron Barony, Miramont, Mordoba, and Visoy. So we probably don't want to pick on Miramont. We are Hadrigel. So we're right outside being one of the top 5 great powers, but we're not quite there yet. Geographic powers, we are one of the top geographic powers, but we're, again, the Peruvians are number 1 because they control so much more territory than us. So Broken Her is up here. We do have an alliance with them, or a non-aggression pact, I should say, sorry. So I'm thinking maybe Illidan? Let's see, power. World power. So Illidan, not quite sure how you pronounce that. The third of the 3 sisters, including the Valgorn Palantate and Avarin. Illidan is a small but wealthy realm focusing on trade and industry. One of those things that kind of, some interface things I wish were a little easier to understand, like when you're trying to read a description and I want to scroll down, trying to get your mouse over here without resetting this to a different province view is a little difficult. Illidan is a small but wealthy realm focusing on trade and industry. It rides the coattails of security thanks to the Palantate and so maintains a small army. Commerce is brisk in Illidan and its population is quite dense for a realm of its size. Of the 3 sisters, Illidan wears 2 faces. Its consistent support of the Holy Orders is to ensure the continuity of its 3 sisters standing and its continued domestic security. Its friendly faces hide a more ruthless enterprise that goes wherever profit may be. To this end, Illidan has quietly cultivated a formidable spy ring with which to exert Illidan's ambitions abroad. Alright, so maybe they aren't going to be the first to go after. I think these are what they were referring to as the 3 sisters. Basically 3 minor powers that have kind of banded together. See, this is what I mean by like the lore. You really like, in any other Fantasy 4X, like something like that wouldn't really be there. It would be obviously written in the lore, but you know, it wouldn't actually exist, whereas here it does. So let's send some gold, just kind of improving our upgrade cost. 4,500. 6,300, 63, 35 AM. Maybe improving our economy at this point isn't quite what I want to do. Okay, so Harvest Fair celebrated in Brigham Gap. Okay. Oh, those are my units. Let's just go ahead and deploy these guys in with the rest of my main army here. What's the rest of the army makeup look like? 1 unit of old guard, some cavalry, pikes. So let's get maybe 1 more unit of old guard in, and maybe another unit of archers. These will take 3 and 4 turns to recruit. Really don't see us being a prime naval power, so I'm not really going to go for that. It is interesting if you kind of think about it. Hadrigel is, basically the fantasy Prussians in this, and Aracel over here is. I kind of get the impression it's an island nation, heavy on trade and naval. Yeah, sounds a lot like the Great Britain and the 1800s. Not that all factions are quite written that way. I just find it interesting. Alright, so we need to broken her, offering 1 stone for 1 iron. I'll accept the offer. I think it's time. Let's see. The Kazakh, they're 122, world powers, land power. And they're ranked above us. So this ranks realms based on total values of land units, heroes, and forts. So do we border anybody that we can possibly go to war without really sparking off a huge Suryusil? They're border us. They are a small but fierce forest realm of the Night Elves, a painful thorn at civilization's very center. The Night Elves are viewed as a malevolent race of elves who raid in darkness and weave dark magic. Really wish I could actually read the rest of what they are about. So are they allied with anybody? They are currently no alliances, so let's move our army. They have a 5 economic province, so it'll take us 5 turns to siege it down. I want to probably wait until these units are done recruiting. What's going on? What's a non-aggression pact sign? What's R? Arcel is improving their relations a little bit. Miramont has declared war on us. Hostilities will begin on their next turn. Ally at war. Our ally Bourbon is now at war with Barony. Should we aid them in their struggle? Might as well. Is it now at war with Galeni? Should we aid them in their struggle? Might as well. Summer Haze. This summer heat descends upon a lance. Cast recharge of illusion spells is -1 and death is +1. Accept the trade. Mutual defense. Where was that mutual defense? The previous turn. So we are at war with Miramont over here. Oh, I just now noticed these arrows to sort these by name. View by disposition, view by name. Well, that's nice. I never really quite realized that. Okay. So right as I moved my army to the other side of the realm, we are now at war over here. So they only have one province that they can really attack into at this time. So we're going to move our army into Lugano. And we have units that can be, we have archers. Alright, so they're deployed. They will be part of this army here. And we're going to hopefully just kind of, I would like to attack them, but we're going to kind of hold off, see if we can defeat their initial kind of thrust at us, and then if we can do that, then I'll go on the offensive. But I don't want to attack and then have one of their armies get in behind me and basically take my provinces while I'm trying to siege. Your turn. Alright, so we can't expect them to attack this turn. So our army over here is up to... Alright, so units cap out at 18 units. Our army over here is up to 18 out of a max of 20. Okay. Return to capital. You can now return the camera to your capital realm. Oh. Craigway is now at war with Savannah. Should we aid them in their struggle? Sure, why not? Barony wants peace. Hey, that's one less front I have to fight on. And I thought Miramont, if they were going to declare war on me, would actually come after me. Was that Embrook? Where? Mason. Wish you could click on these and have it actually bring you to the province that was occupied, because I look like I actually still control that province. Yeah, it looks like these two provinces said were... Mason and Embrook over here said they were occupied, but I don't see anybody in them. Alright, so if we don't get an attack... So because I'm a save skimmer, I'm going to save here. And we are going to send our army to attack. You've occupied an enemy province every turn that you continue to... Yeah, I've already said that. Basically, every time we siege this, it'll reduce the economic value by 1 until we eventually control it. Hope that wasn't a mistake. Yep, it was. They just sent an army in behind us. Mirmons wants peace. You know what? I don't really want to fight them. So who else am I actually at war with here? I am... Galeni is on the other side, so I can't actually really fight them. Alright, so this video is about 40 minutes long. I'm going to call this video here. I am going to do a couple of others. Hopefully in the next one I'll actually find somebody to actually go to war here and show off the combat system. But this isn't going to be a full Let's Play, but I do, like I said, I'm going to do a couple of episodes to at least kind of show off the game. And thank you all for joining me, and I will see you all next time.